We're going to take a look at the CNN panel. And these Trump apologists are just ridiculous. They will defend this man no matter what he does. Check this out.
In this country.
I don't know if it's true, if it has to come across his desk or not. However, because it is an unprecedented situation.
But do you think he should get paid by the Justice Department? That's the question.
My personal advice, if he asked me, would be have him table this until you leave office. The process started before you came to office. You then won an election. And you look, I think maybe he was damaged and he's entitled to the process. If it were me and I were advising him, I would just say you could table it and put it off until you leave office.
Was he damaged?
No, I mean, he's president. How much damage did he go through? His wealth apparently is higher now than it was when he was elected. Politically, I'm not in the habit of giving Republicans advice, but there is no way a president gets paid $250 million and people can barely pay their rent and put groceries on the table. That is smart. Just rationally, if you ever want to be able to make a case that you are for the working people, that math does not math in any. Most people can't even fathom having $1 million, but $250 million just doesn't make sense to me.
Let's say, though, that it is true that he gets it and he gave it to charity. Would that change your opinion?
The money is taxpayer money, though. I don't want my
And they remember back to the Obama era when the IRS was targeting the Tea Party, and they feel that this is sort of restitution. They don't think this is corruption.
It's restitution that goes directly to Donald Trump's pockets?
They think this is a correction for years and years of political targeting where he paid $107 million in legal fees from 2020 to 2024.
The
so we are talking about unprecedented
a big chunk of those legal fees.
Numbers, but I would also add this is not the first time that the
Trump's
DOJ has in fact paid out money in settlements. They paid $2 million.
Sure, yeah, they paid out one to a January 6th rioter. That also happened, but it doesn't necessarily make it right. And I think the question is, for the rest of the country, perhaps not the MAGA folks, how do they see this? And also, what does it say about the Justice Department that Trump is even setting up this situation in which he's got two former lawyers, effectively, who might decide whether he gets a massive payday?
Listen, it stinks to holy hell, and I actually think Scott is suggesting a very Solomonic solution here. I heard Jeffrey Toobin say earlier today that there's a statute of limitations that runs. So I think they need to figure out how to stop that statute of limitations until he is no longer president. Alternatively, find independent people that can take a look at the claims. There's people who claim that getting indicted and convicted actually made him president and helped him become president. But this is just, one more stripe on the tiger, right? You've got the crypto grift. You've got the Melania getting paid $40 million from Amazon for a documentary. You've got Melania selling Christmas ornaments. You've got Trump hawking watches. You've got the $400 million jet from Qatar. I mean, the list is long and long and long with no oversight. And it is happening at a moment when there are federal workers showing up to work, like TSA agents, and not getting paid. When there are lines that go around the block at soup kitchens in Washington, D.C., of federal workers that don't have the money to buy groceries and feed their families. So the tone deafness here is disgusting, but at the same time, it is the level of corruption that has almost become normal because of the lack of Republican willingness to be oversight on what is happening.
Trump seems to also really enjoy getting money out of entities. I think a lot of people would be surprised to see him trying to do it out of the U.S. government. I mean, he's already, law firms have already paid more than $1 billion in what he is describing as free work for Trump. Paramount, $16 million, ABC, $15 million, Meta, $25 million. And this is perhaps just one more notch in his belt that he'd like to add.
Sister Abby, it reminds me really of the greatest satirical writer in the English language, Jonathan Swift, who died in Dublin, Ireland 280 years and 2 days ago in Gulliver's Travel, where he talks about the thickness of the corruption, not just of one party, but of the system as a whole. The levels of spiritual malnutrition and moral constipation so that the average person in the country looks and sees there's unbelievable forms of mendacity and even criminality. And it's not a question of just one party, it's the system as a whole. And what happens in such a moment is that people begin to lose trust, people begin to pursue different other options, wondering how in the world are they going to come to terms with this level of corruption. And what happens is one side will do something immoral and point out the other side is doing it immoral, so they just rational.
I'm not going to be willy-nilly about this. The nerve of this piece of shit, this administration, this man who's just grifting away, and you fools are supporting him while you're going broke. He just gave $40 billion to Argentina. That would have covered the ACA. People in this country could have affordable health care. But no, he gives it to Argentina. A friend of his. Someone he wants to prop up. A despot like him. And also, what a lot of people don't realize, he and his rich cronies have put money into this country. They want to make sure they get their money back. Look into that. This is total bullcrap. Nothing but grifting. They're just getting rich. None of this is supposed to be happening. You know, there's a rule, there's a law against this. Profiting while you're in the White House like this. This is insane, people. Imagine Barack Obama doing any of this. Joe Biden doing any of this stuff. We're just talking about the grifting, the Bitcoin and all that crap. I'm not even talking about the horrible things he's doing with ICE and everything else. He was legitimately prosecuted. He'd be in jail right now. If we have so many stupid people and such a corrupt election system, he'd be in jail. Think about this man, the way he kisses up to Vladimir Putin and the files he took. You seriously want him around Vladimir Putin or any third world dictator, anyone with nuclear bombs, especially the way he kisses up to Putin with that kind of information? We still have never heard him and Putin, their private meetings they had in his first term. Well, it was 7 of them. Are you serious? He has nerve to ask for money back with his lackeys running the DOJ. He has nerve to ask for money back while people are starving, while they're cutting people's health care. You think about this. How corrupt, dishonest, and careless, a billionaire trying to take money from the government that he's so-called running for him being prosecuted. Rightfully prosecuted at that. It's ridiculous, people. How anyone can sit up there on that panel and apologize for that. This shows how far we've fallen. And what's shameless. No shame at all. Shamelessness is on the level of 25. On a scale of 1 to 10. What these Trump apologists will apologize for. Which tells you can't take anything they say. Nothing they say with any credit. Because they will apologize. They've shown you for anything he does. So when they start talking, just ignore it. It's going to be bullshit. I mean, that's just... How can you apologize for that? And then make up false narratives. False equivalents. No, it's not equal. At all. Joe Biden wasn't running around telling his DOJ out in public, and probably not in private, but definitely not out in public, go prosecute my enemies for anything. Are you kidding me? I could go on and on. It's false narratives. And the equivocating is just ridiculous. That's all I have for this episode. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks for watching.